with a breathing exercise that extends our home of safety and honesty with others and our world. Now, the graphic has got relevance to open and free breathing is what we're going to be looking for here. So get yourself in a comfortable seated position. You could also lie down if you can stay awake during this time, and having your spine relatively straight, but not rigid. Now, close your eyes and imagine a ball of light, luminescent energy at the base of your spine. And this light, radiant energy reflects the radiant glow of your core being. As you inhale, bring that ball of radiant energy up your back to the top of your head. Then, as you exhale, let it descend down the front of your body back to the base of your spine, creating a circle of light around your body that is both nurturing and protective. Continue easily bringing that ball of light up your back on the inhale and down your front on the exhale. Each time reinforcing the safe place that lets nothing that isn't in your best interest in, while allowing your radiance to shine forth in whatever direction you choose. So I ask you now, if you're willing, to let that energy you radiate become a beacon from your heart, sending out an invitation to those like-spirited individuals with whom you resonate on a heart level. Send it to your loving, creative playmates who enjoy the activities and the interests that most feed your soul and delight your heart. Some of these individuals you may already know well, and others you're yet to meet or know more fully. What is important is the feeling of comfort, safety, and joy these connections bring to your heart and your body. This is your spiritual family. Just their presence is affirming. And you know that whatever play or work you engage in will happen naturally, without force or expectation with these people. This is your soul family that knows you beyond your story and loves you unconditionally. Let your breath ease into this and your mind surrender its defenses just for a period to embrace the potential of how we can come to relate with all beings on earth. This is not a future distant dream. It starts right now with our decision to let it into our heart. This is how we create a new future, breathing it in together. Suggest that as you allow this right now, as you exhale your next breath, extend your exhale out in front of you to join with all the others doing the same inclusive, loving work to create a tidal wave of love, the most powerful energy in the universe that magnetizes the core of love in all beings, regardless of how many layers of fear or misperception with which they have surrounded themselves. The core of love is stronger and more compelling than all the illusions of separation we could ever generate. Feel your heart energy touching the core of love in every sentient being on our planet now, as your exhale extends around to the other side of the world. And then, on your inhale, bring your sacred breath from the opposite side of the world all the way around, up your back to the top of your head. Continue this now for 3 times, exhaling, sending it around like a tidal wave of love in front of you to all sentient beings to the other side of the world. Then as you inhale, bring it up all the way around, up your back to the top of your head. Let this be a blessing from your sacred heart to our world. This is the mission that you and your spiritual family have consciously chosen and is initiated with your affirming breath in this moment. Feel it and let your heart say, it is so. Now, as you're ready, bring yourself back to the video, knowing that a number of your spiritual family have just done this with you and invited you into their hearts in the timeless now. I believe it's particularly important that we keep this vision and feeling in the course of the work in which we are engaged in this series together, because we will potentially unearth the deepest tracks in our emotional and mental bodies that have created the fears and misperceptions with which we have previously surrounded ourselves. But the community of spirit has helped us build the safety to now allow this to release and for us to grow exponentially together. This is the ultimate form of the intelligence of honesty, fulfilling your soul's covenant with Creator for being with us together on this planet. So let's leave the space open now for anyone who wishes to share what comes to you from the work that we have done together today, or if there's a question that you have that you would like to put out for our feedback.
Jim, I have a question. I was intrigued when you were talking about how honesty can be a process and that it's not a fixed truth. And I like the space that creates around that. But can you say a little bit more about when people are like, if I change my mind, or if I'm undecided, and how that fits into that process?
Oh, yes. I had an inner smile as soon as you said that, Keith, because at one point, my wife gave me a great lesson on this when I reminded her that she had said she wanted this, this, and this, and I could quote verbatim what she said. She looked at me and said, I can change my mind. I thought, God darn, what a concept. I can change my mind. And so that's what it felt like. The mind likes stability, rigidity, reliability. Is that life? No, that's the mind trying to control life, because then I feel safe when I'm in control. I know what you're going to do because you said, or you agreed to, or I've got the piece of paper here with your signature on. But that may not be the highest truth at the moment. There was a man in our breathwork community, and he won't mind my saying his name. I think he's actually passed right now, who was a very successful real estate lawyer in New York. And he had a heart attack and decided to change his life. And so he started coming to breathwork seminars and trainings because he found it was, for him, the most incisive way to get to the nub of things. And he recounted it. His big law practice went from, filing cabinets in this huge, I don't know where he was in New York, but a big office, to smaller and smaller until, well, you could fit everything on a little table. And he said, no contract worth its salt needs to be more than a page long. And these are guys that reportedly made their money filling up pages with if this happens and therefore and where do and he said it's all based on trust in your relationship. And so if I decide I want something a little different, then I might say, Keith, I know we agreed that I would send you the script before every class. And I thought I had. And so if I can have the vulnerability to say, I feel differently about something right now, and you can have the self esteem to listen, not means, oh, therefore I must agree and think this is wonderful, but we both can go inside, then it's a process, it's a dialogue. And we have a commitment because we might not find an immediate solution, but we know that we have a commitment to stick with the process. And this is how marriages survive, because there's a deeper commitment to stay with the process than there is about who's right and who's wrong and who gets Aunt Tilly's lamp, all that sort of stuff. So this man's name was Arnold Patton because he kept coming to trainings. And I said, Arnold, you keep coming to these trainings, but I see this wisdom inside of you that needs to be shared with the world. And so what does the guy do? Well, he writes a book and gets it published, and he goes on Oprah twice, and he worked in prisons. And so, yeah, being honest with ourselves is letting our truth come out. Will like bust us out of the trap of identity. Again, Keith, I'm sorry, I don't know if I answered your question, but it was a great prompt for some stories.
You did, absolutely. Thank you, Jim.
Yeah.